Hello, everyone. So, today we are diving into the spiritual bypassing and everything that goes on with the whole positive mindset. And let's just be positive and let's just be light in the world. Because I am really, I don't know, I just feel like every time I open up my social media and I see all this hype and everyone just, writing all the possible advice for how you can live a better life and all these things. And I mean, on one end, it's amazing because I believe that we are the first generation that is actively working on bettering ourselves and becoming a better person with so much consciousness. Maybe before it was, I still believe that it was present, but probably it was more of like, let's get better in the skills that we have, or let's get better in the work that we are doing. And I really doubt that there was a specific intention to just, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, probably I'm wrong. Probably it was always like that. Like, I think there is a natural habit for us to really try to be better person all the time. However, the degree of consciousness that we have right now, I think it's present for the first time in our civilization. And with the whole social media and everyone that has 5 minutes being able to post advice and post stuff that should improve your life, we are actually exposed to a lot of external content that can get us trapped into new limiting beliefs. What I mean about that is when you're first becoming conscious and you're first becoming aware of yourself, of your personality, of your beliefs around your life and of your programming, I feel like you are kind of waking up from the programs that were installed in you from childhood, from society, from the governments, and you become like aware of just the idea of, like, for example, grades from school, how you are evaluated, and maybe if you didn't have good grades, maybe you start believing that you're not a good person or you're not having any skills or whatever. So this might be a limiting belief that was installed in you because something external was evaluating you based on their criteria, not based on the criteria of your personal skills and abilities that you have. Maybe you are not good in maths and other subjects, but you're very good in sport. So this is definitely something that I feel like our educational system is not designed well. However, the point that I'm trying to make here is that, like, all these things that we've been told since we are young and the way our parents were raising us, and basically the whole award system of, like, if you do good things you get good grades, you get good support from others, you'll be people will appreciate it, people will congratulate you, all those things. And if you do bad stuff, and then you have all the beliefs like this is bad, being angry is bad, being sad is bad, being vulnerable is bad, and we are not rewarded for these parts of ourselves. So what we learn is we suppress these things. So the first thing when we become conscious is usually we start like decoding ourselves from all the limiting beliefs that were installed in us from childhood. But what happens afterwards is usually you want to exchange these beliefs with something else, and if you're not conscious, you can get into the trap of new limiting beliefs that maybe on the surface they seems like they're not limiting you, But the more you are actually living with them, the more you realize it, how limited they are for you. And I believe that any belief, yeah, any belief that is trying to put you in a certain box is not useful. So anything that you believe around what is right, what is wrong, what's good, what's not good, how you should act, how you shouldn't act, anything that it's like putting you in a certain box can be limiting. So what happens usually is, like, I'll tell you my example so that you understand the whole point about it. Is when I was in London and I started to work with healers, and we were, like working on all this light working stuff, like just trying to be the light for people, just doing the healings for people, doing the healings for ourselves, and acknowledging all the, stuff that are coming up and everything. And one thing that I got from that period that was a limiting belief that I didn't realize until recently is that I saw love as the ultimate thing, and I started to believe that I should love everything, everyone, and just keep on sending love to the world, which is all nice and all good. But on the other hand, what I did as well is that I said to myself, because that's what I've been told, that hate is a terrible emotion, and that me being hateful or feeling hate towards someone or towards something is bad, because it's a heavy energy and because it's a dark energy, and it gives people like psychic attacks because you think hateful of them or whatever. So what this did to me, which still, like, if you listen to that, you might feel like, hey, yeah, but that's actually true. Like, hate is a heavy emotion. It is like, the destructive emotion. It is like an emotion that is, causing dark energy. However, we have to be aware that we are living in this world of duality, and we are here present with all our emotions, and our responsibility, or I believe what emotions are for, are to be expressed. And the other day I was talking with one of the people that are coming on my podcast in the future, Rachel Pringle, and she used a very good example of saying that emotions are only bad if we hold on to them and we store it within ourselves. None of the emotions are bad if we let them express through us. And the funny thing is that if you at a certain moment feel, like, I don't know, you're driving in a car and someone, like a car, like bumps in front of you, and you're like, fuck you, like I hate you, or whatever comes up in your mind. And because you are all spiritual and you're all, enlightened, and you're sending love in this world, of course you don't want to express this. However, that was your body reaction when it happens. That was exactly what happened within you when that moment happens. So by you suppressing that and saying, this is wrong, I shouldn't be feeling this way, you swallow that emotion and you store it within. You keep it within, and that's where it actually stays. So what happens afterwards, and like this is my personal story of what happened with me after 2-3 years of being in this spiritual belief of like, I don't want to feel hate. I don't want to send hate to any person in this world. I don't want to feel angry towards people. I don't want to feel, I'm not going to send out these energies because they are bad. What happened to me is that I started to resent stuff, to resent people that were not even connected to my emotions of anger or emotions of hate. So it would just be that, like, after so long of holding it in me and not allowing myself to express it, I was actually like, I came to the point when I was like feeling angry for things that I shouldn't feel angry about. And it was just like my anger was popping up for stupid little things every single day, for like people that I love the most and are around me all the time. And I was just like a snake, just like shedding poison like to everyone around me. And what I didn't realize is, like, at one point it was I even said something that was like so surprising for me. Like, my brother gave me news about like someone that we had like a common friend, and like something happened to them. And I was like, my reaction was like, of course you get what you deserve. And like my brother was like, what's wrong with you? You don't say this for people that are, like, they didn't do anything for you, and you don't want to like wish something bad for people that, I mean, you don't, there's just, it's not good to wish, like, when you hear that a person, something bad happened to a person, that's not how you react. And I realized at that point that, like, I really started asking myself, like, what is it with you? Like, why are you so, like, why are you shedding so much poison to everyone that didn't do anything to you? And what I realized afterwards is that there was so much hatred and anger within me for the past 2-3 years that I wasn't expressing. And it wasn't necessarily the anger that I felt like I should express to certain people, but it was just like I wanted to say it out. Like, I wanted to like scream. I wanted to let it all out. And because I didn't, and because I didn't allow myself to do so, it was like I wasn't a good person in general. Like, it was just like the very dark parts of myself were present all the time, and it didn't want to go away. And it became like hard for me to bring up the light. It was like so much of the darkness were popping up that I was like, it's easier for me to be, judgmental and hateful and all those things towards others, because there is like it seems like the light is so away from me. And that was a huge awakening, because it just like, when it hit me that I was like suppressing the hate because I felt like it's a bad emotion and I don't want to feel it. And there is a saying, I think it's Tony Robbins who's saying it all the time: what you resist persists. And if you keep on resisting a certain emotions for 3 years, it's gonna be popping up every single day in situations that it's so not appropriate. And how I dealt with it was actually that I let it out. Like, I was just basically screaming a lot, verbalizing things a lot, just keep on shouting with loud music and just shouting like, I hate this, I can't stand this, and just let it all out. And it's very, very important to express yourself. This is like, it's a thing that I've been struggling a lot in my life, and I'm realizing that every time that I'm not expressing myself, it's like my throat chakra or my throat in general will get sore, or I'll feel like there's something something heavy in my throat chakra, and I want to and have to let it out. And the funny thing was that as I started expressing this anger and hatred, and this is an important point that I want to make here, is like, if you are suppressing these emotions, you don't want to go and, I don't know, choose a person where you're gonna offload these things to. It's like, you should find yourself a safe container, being by yourself, maybe putting a loud music on so that, you have this feeling that no one can hear you, or going somewhere where there's no one around you, somewhere in nature, and just keep on saying stuff. Just keep on saying them aloud, because we are meant to express things. We're meant to let these things out. And what it happened for me is, as I was loading these things, after a couple of sessions that I did, I just felt so tired, every single time, because it felt I was really shutting off so many of my past emotions. But what happened in the following days was that I felt so soft. I felt so loving and so I don't know, it was just such a gentle, loving energy that was present within me, and so much peace. And all of a sudden, I was able to be the loving energy for people. I was able to be the light for people. And, the resentment that I had towards people that have done nothing to me, was just gone. Because it wasn't about them. It was always people around us are mirroring something that we feel within us. So if you express what you feel within us and you let it out, there's not going to be any need for other people to keep on reminding you of that part of yourself, because you will acknowledge it. And that's the thing with the emotions. All of our emotions, they want to be seen. It's all about acknowledging it, and it's usually any kind of beliefs of positive thinking, and I don't want to hear anything negative, I don't want to say anything negative, I don't want to believe anything negative. It's really, if you ask me, just spiritual bypassing, because law of attraction doesn't actually work on, it works on your energy, but you have to be aware that you are manifesting every single second of this life. So it's not about you lifting yourself up with external things, with affirmation, saying yes, I'm so happy, I'm joyful, wow, it's awesome. It can be beneficial from time to time to lift yourself up, because you will have, for a short period of time, you will have higher vibration, and that higher vibration will allow you to see things from a higher perception. However, you have to know that you will most of the time manifest from your base vibration, and base vibration means your vibration of every single cell in your body. And if your cells are holding on to dark emotions, negative emotions, then you are manifesting that. Because every single thing that is present within your body, every emotion that is present within your body, will want to be seen. And the way it can be seen is that it's projected to something external, or you can say that it's manifested to our external life, so that the situation on the outside remind us that this emotion is still within us and give us an opportunity to express it. If every single time the outside situation reminds you of a certain emotion, you decide to suppress it and decide to not look into it, you're keeping the emotions within you. You store them within you and you keep on manifesting them. That's why this is like a kind of like a, I would say, a problem with the law of attraction thing. Because if you are not really understanding where is your energy coming from, then you won't be able to manifest good stuff, because you will have the opposite manifestations happening all the time. And this is actually like, if you are really listening to Abraham Hicks consciously and really looking at the depths of their teaching, you will see that they are actually acknowledging this. They are saying this, that, you can't really say that you want something and keep on expressing these desires, but then going back to your base emotions and just staying there and like making the manifestation go in the opposite direction. You have to lift yourself wholly and completely. And I believe that doing this, the way that it resonates with me the most is by really, really expressing emotions and letting them out. And that means every single emotion. And it's funny because up until a few weeks back, I didn't acknowledge hate as an emotion. It was just like, no, hate is, I don't know what hate is, but it's just it doesn't exist. And then I looked into Map of Consciousness from David Hawkins, and of course there is a hate on that list of emotions. And in general, that vibration of hate is so much stronger than many of other emotions that I was actually more comfortable with, and that is shame or guilt. And I would feel, for example, to give you a practical example, something happens, you feel hate, and then instead of expressing hate, which is a pretty high vibrational negative emotion, you decide to be shameful for feeling hate. And if you look at the map of consciousness, hate is on the scale from 0 to 2,000, it's on 150, versus shame is on 20 or 30. I don't know which one is first, guilt or shame. So to actually explain what happened is instead of using a certain pretty high vibration when it comes to negative vibrations, which is hate. Why am I saying that it's high? It's because it's so close to courage. It's so close to, just being willing to do the change. So you can transform hate into actions, into having the courage to do the action, being willing to do the actions. And willingness and courage, those are all the pretty high vibrations already, and it's so much easier to create from that space. Versus if you lower your vibration when you feel hate and you go into the shame for feeling hate, that's when you go totally basically on the zero of all the possible vibrations you can have. So you lower your vibration to such a low energy that usually you don't feel like creating anything. You just feel sorry for yourself. You just feel, you just feel so low that you don't know how to go out of that loop. I hope this was understandable for you. I don't think I was actually talking about map of consciousness on this podcast yet. So if this was something that resonated with you and you haven't maybe totally grasped everything that I said, or you would want me to talk more about it, I would appreciate if you leave me a comment or just send me a private message, so that I know that this is something that you would be interested in. But other than that, that's the main things that I want to share with you today. Just positive thinking and being scared of all the negativity and being scared of the darkness. It will just lead you away from yourself. It will lead you away from your full expression of your body, of your soul. And this is something that we can talk about in the next episodes as well, is those emotions that are not expressed, that you are keep on suppressing them within you. They will ruin your health, because the cells, and this is something that is totally scientifically proven, the cells functioned differently based on the emotional vibration that is around them and within them. So if you are, we can just look at this like chemicals, like all the states, all the emotional states are just hormones. They are just a chemical state in the body, and a certain chemical cocktail in our body will create a certain effect in our cells. And if we are always in the emotions that it's that are negative, then of course this will influence our health. But maybe the last thing that I want to say is that sometimes it's so much easier to suppress stuff and be like, oh, I don't want to look at this stuff, or oh, la la la. But what you are not realizing at that point is that if you don't feel it once, you will feel it every single day. I'm gonna repeat this once again. If you don't feel the emotions when they're coming up, and you feel them once in a present moment when they're coming up, then you will feel it throughout the whole day, every single day. So if you feel anxious all the time, if you feel stressed all the time, there are certain emotions underneath that wants to be expressed. And if you would really listen to these emotions and express them once, you'll be free from that. So this is my invitation for you to really get in touch with your emotions. If you need help doing that, there is I have some availability for emotional healings as well. So if you would be interested in something like that, feel free to reach out and I can explain you more. But feel free to express anything that comes up and just allow yourself to be too much, too sensitive, whatever it is. Just let it out, because this is where your freedom is. Thank you so much for listening. Make sure you subscribe on my podcast and talk to you soon. Ciao, ciao.